Another episode of Lucas Live. I have my beautiful wife here, Miss Corine
Good
Marie.
morning.
We are excited to be here with you guys today. You guys are used to me being here, by myself. I did have my producer live in studio, and today is a special day because I have my beautiful wife.
Hey.
Hey, welcome to the show. Glad to have her. Glad to have you guys. If you're watching this by replay, well, please stay tuned. You don't want to miss this discussion about healthy relationships. Whether you're single, dating, or married, you want to hear this conversation. We're going to talk to singles today about how can you get ready for relationships. I always say we want to help you get fit for relationships, mentally, spiritually, emotionally fit for relationships. Your physical fitness is important too. That's up to you. But we're here to help you get mentally, spiritually, emotionally fit for relationships. So whether you're single, dating, or married, we're excited to talk to you guys today. If you're in the dating phase and you're meeting new people and you're trying to sort out who's who and what's what, we want to give you some advice to help you guys think that through today. And then for married couples, how do you keep the fire alive? How do you keep that thing going? Because we've been married, 8, 9, 10, 11 years? We've been married for 11 years now. And we still like each
Horrible.
other.
Yeah.
We do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't remember how long we've
Of
been
course
married.
I remember, sweetie. I said to her the other day, I said, it's really cool. Good morning, Tamika. Good morning, Tina. Glad to have you guys here as people come into the
Hey,
broadcast.
guys.
We're going to answer questions today. We're going to share some information and insight, and we're going to talk about how we can help you further get fit for relationships. So
Yes.
we were just talking the other day, and I was telling you how I like you.
Yeah, I like you too.
That's good, right? It's
Yeah.
good to still like each other. I said to her, loving someone, I believe love is a choice. If you read the book 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, he talks about that, choosing to love someone, loving people who are unlovable, and love is a choice, right? For God so loved the world. He chose to love the world. He didn't have to love us. We ain't that lovable. Love is a
Right.
choice. Falling in love sometimes isn't a choice. It's something we fall into, somewhere between lust and desire.
Infatuation.
Infatuation. You fall in and you are high. When you're in love, and in love is it's fun. It's fun to be in love, and we are still in love. I'd say we're still in love.
Yeah. I
So,
love you. You love me?
I love you and I'm in love with you. Do you think those are different?
Mm.
I just said they were. So let's ride
Okay.
that wave,
You
okay?
can ride it for right now. Yeah.
Okay. So in love is it's the ooh ah when I see you still feeling, and I still have that for you.
Ooh.
The ooh ah feeling. And then there's love, in love, and like.
And like.
And I said like might be the deepest one. Because there's a lot of people in the comments say me, if there's people in your life who you love but don't particularly like all the time, or you don't you have a hard time liking, let's say, not just all the time, like if you love someone, and this doesn't have to be romantic, but there's people you love but a lot of times you don't really like them that much, right? You're like, I love them
Right.
for real, I want the best for them, but I don't really like them that much.
That's real life.
That's real life. That
Yeah, it
happens to
is real
people.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. It happens in relationships. You could say what you was thinking.
I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about you, but sometimes it happens. Like, you love people, but you have to love them from a distance. You don't necessarily want to be around them all the time or talk to them because you don't like them.
That's fair. That's
That
really
much.
fair. We see you guys. Sharice, welcome to the show. Christina, welcome to the show. Tammy, glad to have you here today. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you guys for the share. Jaysha, glad to have you here. Good morning. Melita here on LinkedIn. Appreciate you joining us from LinkedIn. Christina's on Periscope. We got people on Facebook. It's fun to see people joining from different places. We're on LinkedIn, Periscope, YouTube,
friends.
Facebook, Lucas Live Media. Make sure you're following us at Lucas Live Media on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the page. So most of you guys said that's true, right? Good morning, Judy. You guys said
morning.
it's true. We asked a question this morning, and you guys are interacting in the comments. We appreciate those of you who can. If you're not brushing your teeth or driving, if you're laying in the bed and you're not quite ready to get up yet and you're watching Lucas Live, thank you for getting up with us here in the morning. If you are ready to start your day and you're just relaxing for a minute and you're with us, if you blocked out your morning to make sure you were with us, we appreciate you this morning, as always. Donovan Smith, glad to have you here. Another one from LinkedIn. Always excited to have people on various platforms again. Thank you guys so much. So today, my name is Lucas Tyndale.
My name is Corine Marie Tyndale.
This is I'm her husband. She's my wife. We're married. You guys may have seen Lucas Live before, and she was a guest on the show. via Skype. She was in her office upstairs in her house. I'm in my office.
Yeah.
But today she's joining right here with us. Marisa, glad to have you here today. Thank you guys so much for being here. So we talked about like, and I seen Melita said like is deep, all right? Love, we said, is a choice.
It is a choice.
A lot of people don't know that. Tell them what that means.
Love is a choice. That means that you make the choice whether you're going to love somebody. You know, when you get married, they say, even before you get married, but when you get married, they say, through thick and thin, better or worse, till death do us part. That is a choice because you can get in some stuff and decide, I'm not doing this with you no more. We are over. Or you can decide to work through it.
Yeah, I agree. Love is a choice. That's not a popular thing. That's not something we're told often. But love is a choice. Again, I think we see the biblical example. God chose to love us. He chose to send his son. He chose that stuff, right? He chose to down the cross. Those are choices, right? He didn't have to do that. That was a choice to love people who weren't always easy to love. Right. So love is a choice. Being in love a lot of times is not. You're infatuated. You are literally high. People who are in love, and being in love is it's a fun high. Dopamine's going off every time you see them. Those butterflies in your stomach is caused by a rush of dopamine and adrenaline. Your body is preparing and it's excited and there's a lot of energy. And some people say it's sexual energy and a lot of stuff is going on. And
a lot of times it is sexual energy.
It is sexual energy.
It's based off, because if you think about it, how do you get with the person that you want to be with? First, you see them. It all starts with physical attraction.
Men and women, right?
Yeah, so you like what you see.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all ever been physically attracted to anybody, but
you get caught up.
The one girl on here last night, we was talking about Shamar Moore. Remember that?
She was struggling.
We ain't never met Shamar Moore.
She talking about how he smelled and stuff. What's she talking about? Who was that? I forget. Who said that?
He is pretty fine, though. You know, so we see him. We're like, ooh, muscles, you know, face, everything, voice, swagger. And we get high off of that.
Do we have to go in every... Muscles, voice, swagger. Nice socks. What are we talking about?
He looks good. All
right. Shamar boy. The brother got to be about 60. He was on Young and the Restless about 40 years ago.
You are hating. He was not 60.
He was on the Young and the Restless a long time ago, man. I was sitting there. I know my mama used to watch it.
When he was on
he must have been, because that was a long time ago. It was about 30 years ago.
That's a while ago.
Yeah. So it's important for us to realize that liking someone is definitely, I would say liking is a high level. It is like, because I don't have to like you. Like liking you is something that it's hard to control. I mean, you can control it. Here's a way you can control how you feel about someone. All your feelings start with thoughts. Yeah. Every feeling you have starts with thoughts. Now, some of it, again, is chemically induced. If I am turned on, attracted to you, it's going to cause me to think I'm attracted and start thinking I like you and start thinking that way. But when you're in a relationship for a while, you got to intentionally think positive thoughts.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Sometimes people get on your nerves.
They do get on your nerves. Are we going to talk about a book?
Go for it.
You know.
Babe, go for it.
We have a book that we've written. It's called The Marriage Plan. I don't want to move stuff too much around, you know.
Let me grab the mail edition.
He got a whole studio up in here.
Right, she don't want to mess up my studio.
I don't want to mess up stuff. I barely know where
we're here on a date night here. Y'all see this? This is what we're doing here. Date morning or something. I don't know.
Date morning, right.
So.
Somebody need some food. All right.
I know, right? You got to hold them up or till we're past your face. You don't want to block that pretty face. Look, no, I'm just saying. You're not used to this. There we go.
So the marriage plan. So there's a chapter in there called There's an I in Marriage. And in that chapter, we just break down how you have control over yourself and your thoughts and how you think about your marriage to control yourself and not try to control your spouse.
Yeah.
And work on your own feelings. Think about what you're thinking about. Do what you can do to better yourself.
Yeah. Because
we have the tendency to always look at our spouse and think
what they can fix.
Yeah, there's some stuff you can fix.
Yeah.
But it's powerful when you think about the stuff that you can fix.
Right. It's easy. This is something I've been teaching for just a little while now, and I taught it. I did a keynote called The Race Against Racism, and I'll be doing that more. And if your organization is looking for somebody to come in or virtually, I did it virtually, and do some training on diversity and inclusion, especially with everything going on. I did a keynote for several groups of leaders called The Race Against Racism. And what I was talking about was an analogy of windows versus mirrors. And I was saying to them, when it comes to issues of race and in relationships, in all of life, I think it's so much easier to look out of a window than it is to look in the mirror.
Right.
If I look in the mirror, I got to face me. If I look out of a window, I can look out of the window at my wife and say, well, if she only did this, this, and this better, our relationship would be better.
Right.
But if I look in the mirror, I got to face me and say, well, if I did this, this, and this better, our relationship would be better. It's always easier to look out of windows than it is to look in the mirror. But the greatest change happens when you actually take some time to look in the mirror and address your junk.
Exactly.
Your junk. And my junk.
Your junk.
It's
right.
your junk. My junk. We got to address
my junk. Right?
our own stuff.
That's what it should be.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror.
Address my stuff.
And
That's
just
right.
my junk.
That's true. That's true. Ladies and gentlemen, we're so glad to have you. Natalie, we see you. Ashanti West, so glad to have you here.
Good morning.
Rima, I hope I said your name right. Glad to have you here this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. Thank you all who've already shared this broadcast. We appreciate your shares and your love. We are talking relationships this morning. Miss Ebony Akron, thank you for being here with us. We're excited today to be talking to you guys about relationships. We will answer questions if you guys have any questions, and we have some things that we promised we would talk about today. We are relationship coaches. We work with couples and singles, some separately, sometimes together, depending on what your budget look like. You know what I mean? Because like if it's both of us, you know what I mean? It's a little bit more per hour. And then we do some separate things, and we try to give people real perspective because we've been married 11 years, and we're still learning and growing.
Yes, we are.
And we've had to face a lot of our own individual stuff.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. So I think we have perspective. Very, very simple answers. We have perspective that we think we know is really helpful. And then we wrote a book together. Let's talk about the process of that. Remember writing a book together?
Yes.
It's been a couple years now. We haven't really pushed it, but now this is the year where it's time.
We can do this.
We can do this. We pushing this thing.
Yeah.
Because the people we work with, some couples and some friends and some small groups, and we've really helped some people with this book because we're helping people come up with a plan. It's called Creating a Vision for Forever Together. A lot of people don't have a plan, even singles. They don't have a plan. People plan weddings and don't plan marriages.
Mm-hmm. Talk about it.
They planning the wedding, right? They thinking about it from day one. Little girls often are picturing their wedding day and they're being taught that and they're a princess, and that's beautiful stuff. And
all right, you got your Pinterest board ready.
You ready, right?
Ready.
You set up. And yet nobody's thinking like, what are we going to do on a day where the kids are getting in trouble? What are we going to do if we have to blend our family? We talk about that in our book.
Right.
You already got kids. He already got kids. What's up? What's going to happen? Well, he don't have custody. Well, they're going to be around sometime, I hope.
Right.
Right? Or he may gain custody. That happened to us. We gained custody of my kids.
Yep.
And we had to blend it on together.
Yep.
And it wasn't easy.
It was not easy.
There were some days. Some tears and some prayers. But thank God it worked out.
Y'all see my face?
But it worked out. And you know my
God,
kids, since they were babies, basically. And they were little kids.
Yeah, it was just a different dynamic when, you move into the same house together full time because they were there, summers, months. Yeah. But when it was permanent, I don't know what happened. Something just shifted.
It's tough because you're not their mom, right? You're not their biological mother. So there's some dynamics there in living with us. Although they were happy in some ways, there were ways they were missing their being in the home with their mother, which is understandable. And
they were teenagers when they moved
teenagers,
in.
yeah. And you weren't
teenagers.
So it was interesting. It was a challenge. Are you ready for that? Somebody out there right now has children, and you think you're gonna get with a man or a woman, and they gonna love my kids. She loved my kids. My kids loved her. She known my kids since they were 2 and 3 and 6 or something. Something like they were young, but the dynamic was different. Ari was 9. Yeah. Okay. She was older. I remember that.
Shanti was 2.
Shanti
was
2.
3.
Luke was 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember that. Yes. Yes. So it's been a long time, and she's been in her life a long time, but the dynamics were different, right? Mm-hmm. So have you thought about that? If you have children, have you thought about what that might look like if you were to blend your family? Because you think it's all going to be easy. There's going to be challenges, and that's why we help people put together a plan, because it's like, if you don't have a plan for that, if you haven't thought about that in advance, there's a saying, failure to prepare is preparing to fail. Mm-hmm. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail, right? Yes. So you got to get ready. So Beth, so what do you think is the key to a healthy, successful relationship? What do you think it really is?
The key? I think it is a lot of grace. It is like we were talking about before, a lot of looking at yourself internally.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you get into a marriage, okay, so me and you, we got together when I was 22.
You were?
How old were you? 25?
Yep.
So if you think about from 22 to 25.
And at 25, I had been married.
Yeah.
Had 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And was divorced.
Yeah.
Okay, so I came in with a lot.
But if you guys just think about life in general, like where you are in your 20s is not going to be the same when you get to your 30s, to your late 30s. We're creeping up on our late 30s right now. Well, you
I done crept up, man. Yeah. I'm 38.
I'm 35. Let's go. You know, so I'm not in my late 30s yet. I'm like still skating on the mid 30s.
Ain't no hair under here no more. You know what I mean?
But life is different, so you grow in that time period, and a lot of things change, and people just change in general.
Yeah.
So as you grow, you have to give yourself grace. You have to give your spouse grace. There might be things that your mindset is different from when you're in your 20s to when you're in your 30s.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, they don't give grace when you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to change and grow and become a different person.
Yeah.
And when that's happening, like you have to strive to understand each other. Like I think one of the biggest hang-ups with communication is everybody just want to talk. They want to get their side out.
Yep.
But it's powerful when you can just sit and listen and try to understand your spouse. Like, where are you coming from? What are you going through?
Yep.
How can I help you? What can I do differently?
Amen, sister. Amen. Yes.
And then the spouse can't take advantage of it and be like, amen, yeah, because this is you the problem in this relationship.
True. Good point.
Yeah, you have to do that both for each other. And I think that is the key to a happy, healthy relationship.
I love it. I agree. I definitely think it. Donovan Smith here on LinkedIn, he said this a little earlier, but it went to your point. Mm-hmm. He said loving your 20s, 30s, and 40s has different meanings.
Amen, Donovan.
It's different. It's different dynamics. It's levels to this thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And some people, sadly, are getting older and not maturing. Age alone does not cause maturity, right? Mm-hmm. You're not wise because you're 40. You're wise because you've learned from your 30s and your 20s. If you've learned, if you haven't learned, you can be 15 and never pass the 3rd grade if you never went to school and studied and paid attention. So you got to be paying attention in your 20s, and in your 30s you got to reflect on your 20s and see what lessons you learned and keep going to new levels. So I agree, it is different at different levels. We had a question. Miss Ashanti West asked, as a man, how do you balance dominance or your dynamics in the relationship? Justin's question. So her boyfriend Justin. Shout out to Justin. Me and Justin go get together soon. Me and Justin, we need to do coffee or something, brother. We supposed to be doing some work together.
That's a good question.
It's a good question. Dominance. Like dominance sound like you just be wrestling people. Dominance is tricky because it goes into the discussion of submission, right? Yeah. Which is a tough discussion, and it's a tough discussion culturally, ladies and gentlemen. It is not a tough discussion everywhere in the world. There's places around the world where submission is like so normal, it would be awkward. A woman would look at a man who did not have some level of leadership dominance. I don't love the term dominance, but let's say some level of leadership, like, you're not a man. I don't even want to be with you. Like, my dad is like this. My uncles are like this. This is our culture. American culture, we have liberties. Everybody has liberty to do and be whatever they want. They're free, right? So with that comes some dynamics where we have a hard time understanding, a man maybe being a leader in the house or whatever it may be. In a marriage, again, it's not just dating. You get to lead everything. In a marriage, I think there's a place for a man to lead. But submission goes both ways. I think dominance is a tough word. Dominance leads to dominating. I don't think dominance is anything that anybody needs to be doing. I think leading is what people need to be doing. And if you lead and follow God, and you have a wife who is willing to follow God, she will submit to the God in you. She will submit to God's plan in you. And then there will be times where she is going to give you the insight from God that you need to submit to. And you're like, babe, that's a good point. We need to go that direction. And you can't be like, well, I'm the man. You can't possibly be hearing from God. He would not speak to you, for I am the priest of this home, and therefore God only talks to me. Keep your plans to yourself, Eve, with your apple-eating self. Right? You don't want to do that. So that's an excellent, excellent question. So I would say it's leadership, not dominance.
Yeah.
Great question.
And I would add on, too, that you guys need to sit down and talk about what that looks like. Like, what is it that you are wanting or I don't want to say wanting to dominate, you know, but since you use that word, like what is it? What kind of dominance are you looking to establish? Like, what does that look like? Does that mean, well, I get to make all the decisions?
Yeah.
Does that mean I get to make the decisions about you? Like whether you
Right.
dress a certain way,
exactly.
wear your hair a certain way, you know, like what does that look like? And then figure out from there, like, does this make sense for us? Because some women, they don't care if they men say, I don't want you to cut your hair, babe.
And that's between them.
That's between them.
We always say that. That's why we wrote this book. Hold up the women's edition. This is the man's edition. And this is the woman's edition. If you're a single man, boom, you can order this from us. If you're a single woman, you can order this. If you're a married couple, boom, you need both of them because y'all need to be making these plans together, right? But if you're single, you're going to start to think of a plan of what you'd like to see. Then when you get with somebody, they can work on the plan of then you can put your plans together and come up with a master plan. I'm working on a master plan out here. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want couples
you need,
to
baby,
do.
ask your man.
Yo, there you go. Watch out now. Who knew she could flow out here? Watch out now. So it's important. Yes, thank you, Vivian King, here on LinkedIn. I'm so glad to have you here. Welcome to Lucas Live. Glad to have you here on the show. Everybody, please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Lucas Live Media. Lucas Live Media, so you can see all the previous episodes. Yesterday we had Keena Ferguson, who won an NAACP Image Award. She's worked with Tyler Perry. She was on Tyler Perry Sisters. Worked with Tyler Perry face to face every day. She was on Atlanta and so many other shows. We've had so many great guests. So if you're new to the show, please subscribe and go back and watch some of those amazing shows. We've had some amazing guests and had some amazing conversations about so many important topics, from race relations to rape to everything. We didn't talk about everything on this show. Police brutality. We had police officers on. We didn't talk about it all. Going back to college, Lester Sanders. We talked about it all. So yes. So it's important that we think about this and we think about those dynamics inside a relationship and what does it look like and what does it look like for you. That's why you need a plan for you. I can tell you some things as a man that a man needs to do in general to be kind to a woman. And I can tell a woman the same thing and you can do the same thing, right?
Right.
But inside your relationship, if you believe that it is if the woman wants to cook because the man thinks that's good and the woman thinks that's good because her mama cooked and his mama cooked and your paradigm is woman cook and that's what you love and you fell in love with her cooking and she fell in love with you eating her food, then y'all do that thing.
Right.
Do your thing.
It's creating a cohesive vision together.
Yes. It's your plan. Okay.
So there's not one way to do a relationship, do a marriage, whatever. It's
Don't let nobody
peek
in your windows and try to tell you how to live. They peeking in your house, trying to tell you how to live your life. You get to make your own
Y'all
plan.
do what's best for y'all.
Yes, that's what it's about. But first you got to know yourself, right?
Yeah, you got to
We've evolved. How do you feel about that? Like, you cook most of the week.
Yes.
Right? I handle the weekends, though. One way or another. I handle the weekends, y'all. Don't I go handle the weekends pretty good? Friday, Saturday, a little bit of most of Sunday.
Yeah.
One way or another.
We
eat.
We eat. You buy that food.
I buy some food. I cook sometimes, though, too. I be on the grill a little bit.
Yeah, you do be on the grill.
Remember that? Yeah. Even recently.
Yeah.
Trying to get some points out here. Y'all see that? Her love language is acts of service, ladies and gentlemen. You got to know your love language, all right? So, yeah, I do a little bit of cooking.
Yes.
But you do a lot of cooking, and you've been doing more cooking.
We should ask people if they know their love language.
Do you guys, somebody made a post about that today, I saw it. I commented on it. It was really cool. Do you guys know your love language? If you do, please put it in the comments. If you don't know your love language, let us know. I bet our producer, Amanda Jean Dukes, can look up the 5 love languages quiz and post it in the comments. Amanda, why don't you grab the 5 love languages quiz and post the link in the comments if you don't mind. I know she's here. Hey, Joy. Glad to have you here. Sherry, so glad to have you here. We appreciate you guys. So if anybody know their love language, tell us what your love language is. And do you know, if you're married, do you know your spouse's? And is it different? It's important that we know this. I think the book, The 5 Love Languages, is so foundational. It's something that we talk to couples about. We've talked to singles about. If you don't know your love language, you out here mad at people and don't know what you mad about. Okay? Natalie Lewis said quality time is hers.
A lot of quality times popping up.
Joy Ellis said quality time is what she's looking for. Sharice Grantham said quality. It ain't even got to be time. She just want quality people. She want a quality man. Quality. Serena Denise said, welcome to the show. She said quality time and physical touch. People usually have a primary and a secondary. Sometimes you tie on your first one. All right. Who else? Where we at? Sheena says quality time and words of affirmation. Amanda Jean Dukes, our amazing producer, threw in the comments how you can take the 5 love languages quiz. Thank you, Amanda. If you guys have not taken the 5 love languages quiz, or if it's been years, sometimes you take it and it's changed. How could that be? Because you've evolved.
Yes.
You've realized maybe like gifts is not as important to me. Words is not as important to me now. We getting older. I need some quality time. You might change.
Quality time, right.
Right. Let's see what else they talking about out here. Vivian King here on LinkedIn said, I have been meaning to learn my love language, but have not gotten to it. Vivian, you got to do it today. It's life-changing.
Do it, Vivian.
Vivian, are you single, dating, or married? If you don't mind me asking, if you wouldn't mind telling us, we'd love to know. If you don't want to tell us your business, that's fine. It's your business. But we'd love to know because that would be really cool to learn. Christina said words of affirmation. Very good. All right, Tamika Jones going to take a look. Tamika, we got some work to do. Me and Tamika, we're going to be working together. She took my social media for singles class, my magnetic social media for singles. If you're single, I'm teaching them marketing and branding because I was a marketing major and I'm big on marketing, and I want to teach people how to market themselves through their social media to attract their target market. I did a live training last Saturday. That training is still available. If you want to purchase the replay, that's still available. You can reach out to me and get that. Tamika and those that were there live are going to get a free additional social media review. And I'm going to work with them one-on-one and go through some of their social media pages and talk about what do we see here? What are we trying to tell people? Who do we think we're going to attract? And things like that. Tamika can't wait to do that.
That's cool.
All right, Judy, you can call some of these out, Corinne. Let's see. We got Judy said,
quality time, receiving gifts, and physical touch.
All right. She knows what she wants out here.
Latasha Ellis said, acts of service. Me and you are on the same page, girl.
You like it when I do stuff around the house.
You do stuff around the house.
Handle some business.
I like when you have that hammer.
Just be
and that drill.
Yeah, just be hanging stuff for no reason. I'm telling y'all, I'm out here working it out. All right. And here's an interesting thing about that, right? Mm-hmm. I'm cool with acts of service. Like, I'll run to the store. I'll do whatever you want. You know what I mean? It's like, if she says she wants something, if she like, I want some sunflower seeds, I'm halfway out the door before she like, it's midnight, boy, sit down. Right? Because I want to serve her. I want to do for her. Whatever she wants, all she has to do is ask.
Right.
And I want to do it.
You do that.
I do that. However, there are some things that I did not learn when I was a teenager. My father was in prison. We lived in the projects. You live in the project, something break, you call the people.
You call the peeps.
2 months later, they come and they act like they fixed it and they don't. But anyway, so I didn't learn how to do a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so I've been learning this in real time with you. You know, we did your office.
Yeah.
Right? I've changed the light and everything.
Nice, yeah.
We hooked that up. We did that. You know what I'm saying? Hanging lights, hanging swings. I don't know if y'all see my wife's office, but it's amazing.
It's nice.
It's nice.
You did your thing in that.
Did my thing, hung new blinds and everything.
I appreciated you.
You did.
So, do you feel the love, like when you do something for me, when you fill up my love tank, as they say in the book, love me in the way that I like to be loved, acts of service, do you feel
the reciprocal effects?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. And this is the cool part, and that's a great question, right? Mm-hmm. Because she's saying, what happens when you fill someone's love tank is their love overflows and you then get love, then your love overflows and they get love, and it's a reciprocal thing. But what happens is a lot of times in relationships, both people are on E because everybody's waiting on the other person to do something.
Right.
And your love tank is drying up, or you get mad. You have one argument and you let it drain your tanks, and you're like, I ain't got nothing else to get. I ain't going to be the first one.
Right.
But the first one to pour might be the person that causes the love to just start bubbling up and growing, and God will help that love to grow, and he'll fill the tank a little more, and before you know it, you're back into this cycle of love. People are either in a cycle of loving each other, or they're in a petty cycle of tearing their relationship down. Mm-hmm. And too often people get into that petty cycle of tearing down the relationship.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak on that really quick too. Like we often say this to couples when we're trying to help them out, you know, and they've been basically at war with each other. It's like, why are y'all going to war with each other? Like, it's enough of that going on, you know, outside of your household. You can walk outside. If you're a black man or a black woman, you got to worry about all of that stuff. If you're at work, you got to worry about your coworkers. You got to worry about your boss. You got to worry about the teachers. If you got kids, you know, you have to worry about all this stuff. A lot of battling. And then you come home and go to war with each other. Why would y'all do that? Like, that is your safe place. It should be the place where you build each other up.
Yes.
where you think about building a life together, where you put your plan in order to get everything that you ever wanted out of life and relationship, and be able to do things that you can pass on to your children so they can pass on to the next generation.
Yep.
Your home is your place where you build, not the place where you go
tear down.
Yeah, to war with each other.
So
you got to get that together. If y'all going to war in y'all's house and also going to war outside of y'all house,
cut it out.
Cut it out. Get it together.
Yeah,
you got big things to do. You got generational cycles to break. You got a legacy to leave.
Preach.
You have a heritage.
Yes.
That you need to get in order.
Yes,
Don't be going to war with each other.
I love it. You go.
That's all I got.
You got it.
That's all I got.
She preach, girl. She's telling it. You got to break. You see, she's saying you have to look at your relationship as a model for your children. Stop saying "do as I say, not as I do." That is not human. Humans are copycats. We like other animals. We copy our parents. We look at them and we figure out what they do, right? Mm-hmm. We look at a movie like Tarzan. We're like, he was raised by animals, so he acts like an animal. If he was raised by animals, you'd act like an animal too, right? It's not a fairy tale. We are copycats. So you see a child who was raised in an abusive home and they hated the abuse, but sometimes they grew up and they've been abused people because they don't know. Or the young lady grows up and she saw her mom be abused and she hated the abuse, but when a man abuses her, she can't say he doesn't love her because she believed that her dad loved her mom. So she's like, sometimes people just get angry and it's okay. And it's not okay, but I'll accept it because somewhere in their mind, they've seen that as a pattern and it's acceptable. We have to break generational cycles. Love and relationships have to be about more than you getting what you want.
Yeah.
That's self-serving, self-centered.
That's not love.
That ain't it. And that's not what a wonderful marriage is. Shout out to Dharma Jackson here in the comments. Thank you, Miss Dharma Jackson. So glad to have you here. Her and her husband, Mr. Timid Jack, who makes the most amazing macaroni and cheese you ever did have in your life. That man can cook. Miss Dharma Jackson, Timid Jackson, y'all been married, 30 years or something? I don't know, 30, 35, 34, 33. I don't know. I try to keep up. Shout out to them. They've been married a long time. Beautiful marriage. Shout out to them. And I know it ain't easy because marriage ain't easy. Nobody told you when you was standing at the aisle. The preacher should have said, y'all know this is going to be crazy, right? Like, y'all ready to buckle up? Because this is going to be cute while everybody's standing here. A wedding is like a funeral.
Oh.
A wedding is like a funeral. That's the new book. No, the wedding is like a funeral. Because here's what happens. At a wedding, everybody's standing there celebrating and they're excited for you and they love you. And they're supposed to be the witnesses of your love and support you and help you and remind you that we made this agreement together and yada, yada, yada. But then when stuff starts falling off, a lot of times they ain't there. You know, they was there for the reception. They was in there doing the Tootsie Roll. They was in there doing the electric slide. They was in there, you know, doing the whatever they was doing. But then the Tootsie Roll.
You just showed your age.
I was in the 90s. I loved it. I was born in the 80s, baby. In the 90s, they do the Tootsie Roll.
The butterfly.
Do the butterfly. That's old. Right. Let me see your Tootsie Roll. Because that was way different.
Cotton candy, Sweetie Go.
Sweetest Go. I don't know.
No, it's Sweetie Go. We just played Black Card Revoked. Is that question? That question was on there.
We didn't know what they said.
Sweetie Go.
Is it Sweetie Go?
Yes.
What? I must have got that question wrong. 33 years. Shout out to Dharma Jackson. So happy for you guys. 33 years in the game. So people are there for you, just like at a funeral. People are all gathered around mourning for you. I'm so sorry about your loss. I'm so sorry about your loss. But a week or two later, everybody's gone. The food done dried up, the baskets, the gift cards, all of the people who've been coming to the house and dropping off stuff saying, I'm sorry about your mama and your grandmama. They gone. And that's not a horrible thing. They're back to their life. A wedding, everybody's there, reception's over, everybody's gone. You go to your honeymoon, you come back, ain't nobody around no more, right? And they're like, we giving y'all space, which is fair and fine and understandable. But the problem is the support structure needs to stay in place. The villagers need to stay there to support and cheer you on. But that's why I say a marriage is like a funeral, because everybody who's there at the church ain't gonna be there when it's going down.
They're not gonna be there.
They don't be there. They
when
don't
it's
be
going
there.
down.
Especially in American culture. We be like, hey, that's your business. We be like, that's your business. Alex, thank you for being here. Glad to have you. Topher, our good friend. Morning. Glad to have you guys. So glad. If you guys have questions, please put your questions in the comments. I think I saw...
I'm laughing at Natalie. She says she's single because she can be a petty Betty.
Uh-oh. Natalie,
together,
you better
Natalie.
quit that, Natalie. Being petty ain't gonna work now. Petty and lonely is what happens to people petty. It be a long time petty. Gotta be careful. Christina asked, "What do you guys say? What do you guys say to those that say your love language was the thing you lacked growing up?" It could be one of two things. I would say it could be things you lacked. It could be things that are just innate to you because that's in your DNA, and it could be things you got a lot of. Okay, so I think if you got a lot of words of affirmation, you learned that was love.
Right.
Then you may want that. If your parents bought you a lot of gifts, but they didn't say a lot of words, you may grow up believing that is love, and that's fine. And so when you get a spouse, you'd be like, my daddy used to buy me stuff. What you doing? Right? It's like, where you at? So I think it could be any of those things. I think for each person, they have to dig in and say, is that what it is? But then whatever it is, whatever the case may be, we got to let the past go, though. If it was daddy bought me gifts, so I want gifts, or whether it was daddy never bought me gifts, so now I want gifts, whatever that is, that's why the Bible talks about leaving and cleaving. We not only have to it's not just physical leaving, it's mentally, emotionally leaving the whatever that was that you come from inside your family, and you build something new. So you have to break away to build something bigger, newer, better. Okay? Great question. What else did we say we promised we was going to talk about? Good morning, Nia Smith. Wonderful young lady we're going to have on the show. Amanda Jean Dukes. Nia Smith. Make sure you get connected with Nia Smith because we need to have her on the show. We need a teen perspective on what's going on in the world, and she's about to go to college and so many other great things we can talk to Nia about. She's going to be on the show soon. Hollis Alexander. Thank you so much for the love and support. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support what we're doing, we got these books out here. Now listen, you don't have to buy the books. But I would if I were you. This is marriage counseling in a book.
Yes, it is.
It's a workbook too. You're filling in stuff. What you got blanks. You see that? You got stuff. She got what that say? That said child care and family life.
Children and family.
Children and family life. Sorry, this chapter is a plan for sex. You got a plan for sex?
I think that's your favorite chapter.
You
that's
think
your
so?
Favorite chapter?
That's the one I turned to. Must be what the Lord wanted me to turn to for the fellas. You gotta have a plan, right?
You got to.
You got to know what the heck is going on out here before you get married, have kids, and be roommates. Be sitting around angry, get entangled. Mess around getting in entanglements. Watch out. Your expectations. You gotta be careful. People out here unhappy getting tangled up with other folks. Blending families. We talked about this earlier. Sorry, let me turn that towards you. We talked about that earlier. Got to get it in the light just right. Blending families right here. We give you guys information, and then we give you places to journal, to answer questions, to write these things down. How are we going to work this out? We give you also a place to do
the best part.
Self-evaluation. I was about to say that.
Self-evaluation, yeah. We have some pages in here for you to evaluate yourself.
And your spouse.
I don't know how to...
I don't know. The lighting is weird. Whatever. It works.
Yeah.
Self-evaluation. We have to self-reflect.
Yes. It's important.
Got to know yourself.
Got to know
yourself.
Know
thyself. Yes.
Amen, brother.
Self-reflection. You got to know that part. And then we also have a space for you to score and rate your spouse or the person you're dating. Again, if you're single, you won't fill in that part. You'll just self-reflect. But that's going to be huge work that you've done in advance. And when you meet that special person, they're going to be like, man, you like really ready. You ain't just singing NDRE, ready for love. You really ready for love.
And we think it's important to make a plan because, well, you have to know what you want first of all. But then when you get together, like you can have this whole plan that you came up with for yourself, but then you have to blend it together, make a cohesive vision, because you can think about how you want to raise your kids. If you gonna whoop them, if you gonna not whoop them,
right? Whatever you want to do.
Where you want to live, if you want to live in the suburbs or the country or whatever. But then you get with a spouse. Another one that's a big one is finances. Yes. How you gonna spend money? What you gonna spend your money on? How you gonna pay bills? If you gonna pay them on time, or if you gonna just let them roll over because it ain't that serious.
You got rollover bills, like rollover minutes. We got rollover bills. We ain't paying these for a couple months.
But then you got a spouse. You get with somebody and they like, we need to pay our bills on time every month.
Yes.
Pay our bills ahead of time. Matter of fact.
Right. Then what do you do?
Then y'all start arguing because y'all got different perspectives about different things. You care about different things.
And you never talked about that.
And you never even talked about it.
When you was in the ooh phase.
Yeah, you just looking into each
like,
other's eyes.
I love you. We're going to make something
Y'all was
magic.
humping and didn't even talk about your finances.
Bumping and grinding.
I said
Humping, bumping, and grinding.
And never talked about your finances.
Nothing about finances.
Talk about you want to get married. Ain't never talked about
credit score. We gonna buy a house, but I guess we is. That credit score 422. Right? They ain't buying shoes with that kind of credit score, let alone a house, right? But people don't talk about it. They get wrapped up in the bed. My dad said when I was maybe 18, 19, he said to me, "You got to get out of the bed sometime, son. You got to get out of the bed sometime." And his point was just knowing, he just was basically saying, in any relationship you're in, you can't wrap the relationship in the covers. You can't wrap it up in the bed. It can't just be all bed bound and you have no other sense of love, dating, finance, stuff. He's like, you got to get out the bed sometime, son. So might as well start outside the bed, buddy, and build something special. Okay, we had a great question here. Dominique Kaiser, thank you for your question here. And we did post a link to the books. It was TyndaleTraining.com. Check it out. They're available on there. We put, there's the couples. The books are $25 a piece because this is like, they should be $250 a piece because they like textbooks.
Yeah.
When you go to college and you really getting something worthwhile, if somebody told you for $50 you could get marriage counseling in a book, $50, you know how much one session of marriage counseling costs? Way more than $50. So for 2 books, $50. Each book separately is $25. You can, or if you're single, order the man for him edition. If you're a woman, order it for her. They're really not different books. The colors are just different. It really wouldn't matter. But you want to work on your plan while you're single, because it's going to help you do some self-work. And then if you're a married couple or a dating couple and you're thinking about going to forever, this book is going to be such a kickstart to help you guys start preparing, whether you're in counseling or not, or before, or after, or during, or after. You've been together 20 years married, and y'all need to get a plan together now because y'all been just going as you go, and it's time to make a plan. Dominique Kaiser asks, what advice do you give to the girl who is always seen as one of the guys? Guys love to be around you because she's a great time. Great question. What would you say, sweetie?
Oh.
You want me to tell her first? Because I'm a dude, I can tell you. But you want to go? No, you can go.
You go ahead.
You go.
Well, from my perspective, I don't know. I was thinking about it because, I mean, you really can't change who you are, your personality for anybody, you know. So I was thinking you just have to go into it, like, don't get caught up in being one of the guys. If you like somebody, let them know that you like them. Don't jump into that friend zone.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Stay out the paint. Stay out the friend zone.
Stay out the friend zone.
Stay out the friend zone. Like, ooh.
Because you do need to be friends when you're married.
Yeah.
But you don't want to start your relationship off like that. Like, you can start it off as friends, but don't start it off as just friends. Like, oh, like, I don't like you. He just my friend. She just
don't
my
do
friend.
That. I love
whatever.
that. Friendship is the foundation of a great relationship.
Yeah.
But you can't be stuck in the friend zone.
You can't be stuck. So go into that thing. If you like somebody,
flirt.
Let them know.
Some of y'all don't know how to flirt. Some people don't know how to smile. Listen, I just did a training yesterday on body language. I'm going to do a relationship body language training.
Compliment.
Compliments. Oh, there's so many things. I just love giving the tips and tricks, the subtle things. I love giving people the tips and tricks that nobody else is giving. Like, people aren't studying emotional intelligence, but I am. Body language, but I am. You know, social media marketing, but I am. So I'm trying to tell you something different than everybody else is telling you, because there's great advice and great books and great information out there for singles, dating, married people. Right. Those have already been done, and I read those books myself. But then there's some other nuances to the human experience that I like to bring into relationships, that I teach in leadership development to businesses and business leaders, that I like to bring into relationships and say, hey, you got to know about this. So don't get stuck in the friend zone. Here's another thing. Be careful. Like, if you have guy friends who are introducing you to new guy friends, those guy friends need to know that you are looking for love. You need to let them know, like, hey, don't be introducing to me as bruh, and don't be introducing to me as she like one of the homies. Don't say that. You need to tell your guy friends, stop introducing me as one of the guys. I don't want that label. It's like being typecast. Like, an example is Jaleel White, who played Steve Urkel on Family Matters, had a hard time getting other gigs because everybody saw him as Steve Urkel. It was like, dude, you're Steve Urkel. You know, like, and I know you were Stefan or Kale for a few minutes, but you're Steve Urkel, bro. You can't play any other role. That's called typecasting. They put you in a certain type. You can only play this person. Well, that's what happens in real life, is you get cast as this person. Then you got to ask yourself, your social media and other places where you're putting yourself out there, Are you putting yourself out there as one of the guys? Now, do you enjoy sports? Well, a lot of guys would like a girl who likes sports. Do you like to video games or something else that they like? A lot of guys would like that. But you got to be playing video games more like this than you over here competing with them and y'all mugging each other. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like that. You can't be arguing on Fortnite and arguing with folks about, whatever. You got to be a lady. You got to still be flirtatious, and you coming to play the game, you got to come cute. You know what I mean? You got to still be a lady. Let them know. You want your friend guys to be looking at you sometime like, why is we friends? You know what I'm saying? Because you done put that dress on, and they like, I thought this was a Super Bowl party. You like, it's going to be super for me. Because I'm fishing. I'm here for something. All right? I'm here to get something. Yes, you got to flirt. That's right, Tamika Jones. You got to flirt. If y'all ain't flirting, what happens is people don't flirt.
Natalie just purchased the book.
All right, Natalie. Go ahead. Release the Queen just purchased the book.
This is good.
See, people ain't playing. See, people who are serious ain't playing. Successful people do things that unsuccessful people are not willing to do.
Amen.
This book is changing lives already. Gotta flirt. You gotta flirt, right? Tasha Ellis said, "I'm flirty, even when I'm not trying to flirt." That's good. That's cool till you get married. Then your husband gonna be like, "What you doing talking to the mechanic like that?" Right? So you might have to tone it down a little bit, but good.
Or he might just be used to it.
Yeah, he might be used to it. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah. Thank you so much. Those who are purchasing the book, we appreciate it. And it's an investment. It's not an investment in us. It's an investment in you. We always say that on the show. When you support people on the show and what's going on, you think you're like, you're not giving. When you don't go to Starbucks and be like, I'm investing in Starbucks. You be like, I want some coffee. But when we invest in people we know and we see in their business, we're like, I'm investing in their business. Well, yeah, but really you're investing in yourself because we have something of value to you. If you're single and you want to get ready for a relationship, boom. If you're married or engaged or dating and you want to get ready for a relationship, this book is going to force you to have conversations with yourself and with the person you're dating, if you're dating, or the person you're married to, that you wouldn't have had.
Right.
People ain't talking about a plan for sex. People ain't talking about...
You got to have these conversations. This is the stuff that we learned over our course of being married that we have to talk about. Like we said, you can't just jump into the bed first without having these crucial conversations and then talk and think you're going to get married too. You know, you're like, let's get married. And then you get married and you wonder why you at war in your own house. Y'all ain't never even talked about some of the stuff y'all fighting about.
Yes.
Never had a conversation about it.
Never talked about it. So,
or maybe it was just a surface conversation. Get deep. Ask some questions. Go in. Like, make a plan. And your plan can change, but at least you have talked about it in-depthly. Yep. And that's important.
I 100% agree. Our good friend Amber Richardson, she said, after years of being married, this book is also good because we have grown and so have our perspectives on things. Absolutely.
Yes, Amber.
We're not the same as we were when we first met.
We are not.
At all.
You don't want to be the same. If you're the same
great point
as you were when you first met somebody and y'all been together for 10 plus years or however many, even 5 years, like you should always be growing and changing. That's what people do. They grow and change. Yeah.
People are so afraid, especially Christians, afraid of the word evolution because you assume if somebody says, I used the word evolution in a training I was doing yesterday, and I thought that people were like looking at me like, evolution? Is he saying evolution is a thing that fish became monkeys and monkeys became men? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying humans evolve. We evolve as in grow and change. I'm not talking about monkeys to men. I'm talking about boys to men, girls to women, dating to being a husband and being a wife and being a parent and being a grandparent and being a mature person in a relationship and being a better worker at your job and being a person who went from barely playing around in your undergrad to focused on your master's degree. You evolve. It's growth. It's change. It's learning. It's movement. You need to evolve. So keep evolving. Keep growing. It's so important. So after years of marriage, she still finds the book to be relevant. Thank you so much, Amber, a great friend of ours. Thank you for the support and thank you for the love. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at Amanda. Deep conversation should be a love language because that's my favorite form of intimacy. That's good, Amanda.
I love that. Okay, let's put that up. Deep conversations. Yes, that is.
It is. It's important.
People like to...
And it is intimate. Go ahead.
One thing I was thinking is what people fail to do is they're trying to build a house. They're trying to build a skyscraper. A real relationship is like a skyscraper. But in order to build something big, you got to dig deep. Okay? A tree digs deep roots. The taller the tree, the deeper the roots, right? It digs deep. The problem is so many couples are shallow, surface level stuff. That's all they ever talk about early on. I love what you like seeing me. I love seeing you in that. I love it when you do that. I love it when you call me Big Papa. That's all you're talking about, right? Everything is all surfacey. And, oh, your eyes is pretty and your legs look good. And all it is surface. What do you want in the future? I just want to be with you. That's shallow.
Right.
Shallow water. What happens is when all you do is stay shallow, when things get serious, when the storms of life come, you don't have a basement or a foundation to go hide in. Because sometimes your house will be about to blow over. Sometimes it needs to blow over and you need to rebuild. But if you haven't dug a foundation because you've never dug deep and had the conversations that we force people to have in this book, if you've never dug deep and built, I say dig deep and wide. Deep and wide. You want to go deep and you want to talk about a lot of deep things. Because that's the foundation that you're going to build your home on and build a place where your kids live and your family grows and you build your business and you build your life and your careers. If you don't dig deep, you can't build nothing big. You can't build nothing great.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't.
If you're married already, dating already, and you haven't done it, there's still time. It's not too late. They re-dig foundations. They go around and solidify and strengthen foundations that have water leaking into the basement. They can go fix that. There's still time. Maybe if you haven't done it yet, start digging. Dig a new foundation so you can build an extension on your home.
Yes.
Make something special. We see y'all on here.
Nice.
We see
Our
you.
girl Vitra.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We're so happy.
Right.
We owe her some free copies. Can we give Vitra some free copies of the Marriage Plan?
Do she have any?
I don't know. Do you got these yet, Vitra? If you don't,
these?
we owe you these
We
because
got
you are a
you.
girl. You know
Right.
what I mean? Girl, we're going to give you the Marriage Plan for free. She
Right.
just was recently married, a wonderful friend.
Yes.
Vitra Hampton
Her
Marshall.
dress was beautiful.
Ooh, that dress.
It was nice.
Man, that dress was nice. I'm a man. I don't even know nothing about no dress. That was a nice dress. That was some nice stuff. I don't know. What do I know? It was beautiful. Shout out to everybody. Betsy, thank you for being here. Glad to have you here on the show. This is my lovely wife, Corine Marie. I'm Lucas Tyndale, host
Hi,
of Lucas
guys.
Live. You know me.
Hey.
Right? We here together. We here together. Here from LinkedIn. I want to say your name right. Mark, how would you say his name? You know I say names. You know me and names. I always say it extra. I think it's Marcello.
Marcello.
Marcello. It's a wonderful name. It sounds amazing.
You're gonna be like Marcello.
He says you guys are killing it. I love the vibe the both of you have. Thank you so much.
Thank
you
you.
for being here. Thank you for your love and support. Make sure you're following us on YouTube at Lucas Live Media. You see the Lucas Live up here, right there? Lucas Live Media on YouTube, and you can go back and see all the episodes. And soon they will be available on audio podcasts for people who are driving, working out, doing other things, and you want to be able to listen to shows. We almost at 100 shows, babe. Almost did 100 shows. Ain't that crazy?
That is crazy.
You remember when I
You've been
pushed Go
grinding.
Live?
Yeah. We're grinding.
Thank you for your support, though, too.
I support
People
you.
don't know.
I'm your number one fan, babe.
You are, man. People don't know, man. When I come up, I'll be like, how was the show? What'd you think? Was it good? And she'd be like, you did it again. How you do that? I'd be like, I don't know, babe.
Right.
I'll be down there. I don't know what I'm doing.
You got a lot of energy.
Whew. That's how I
I'm
live.
better
You
in
live
the
with me.
morning. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm better in the morning, but at night I can't deal with all the energy. Natalie had a great question.
You can't deal with all my energy?
Well, I just like to wind down.
And I be still hype?
Yeah, you hype all day,
I just be
babe.
hype. I got ADD out here. They used to call it BAD when I was a kid, but you know, I got ADD. I be all over the place, but it's all good. It's all good. All right, let's see. Natalie had a great question.
Yeah,
Hello from Atlanta, too. Marcello's here from Atlanta. Thank you for being here. We always love, if you're a first-timer, let us know you're a first-timer. Let us know where you're from. We're always glad to have you guys. Always welcome. Lucas Live. It's regular. We do this 4 days a week. We'll be doing it 3 days a week really soon. It's going to be really great. We're going to hone in on some specific topics. We're going to do relationship talk. We're going to have some great guests on continuously. If you missed last night's show again, go back, check out last night's show. We had Keena Ferguson, good friend of yours. You met Keena Ferguson. You worked with her.
Yeah, she's not a good friend.
She's not a good friend, but she is now. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Right.
what do you like a friend in my head? She a friend
Right.
now. She our
I
friend.
hired her.
I was just texting her.
Right.
So we friends with her now. Okay?
I hired her to help me do some stuff, and she was amazing. I hope we can be good friends.
Oh, we're going to be good friends.
One day, yeah.
Next time she go to Atlanta for Tyler
like
Perry
her a lot.
Studios, we going
Like-
to Atlanta.
Like, that's my friend. That's
I know,
my good friend.
My friend Keena's over there. Tyler. Excuse me, Tyler. Let us in, Tyler. She worked for Tyler Perry. She was on Tyler Perry's show, Sisters. She was on last night's show. So go on Lucas Live Media. Make sure you watch last night's episode if you missed it. Fabulous. She was amazing. She does voiceover acting. She did voiceovers for video games like Fortnite, Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption. She's acted on Atlanta, the show Atlanta, Tyler Perry's Sisters. She was on a show with Ricky
SWAT.
Smiley, SWAT with Shamar
Shamar
Moore.
Moore.
Why everybody remember that? She was on SWAT with Shamar Moore. There's pictures of Keita Ferguson online with Shamar Moore kissing all up on her and all of this. Whatever. Shamar Moore. But anyway, if you guys missed last night's show, you got to go watch the whole replay. It was good. And if you are interested in acting or writing or producing something great, you can work with her too. She gives her information, KeitaFerguson.com, and nowgogetit.com. Now get it done. What was the website? I forget. Amanda, you probably remember. Help us out. We'll get it together.
It's on last night's episode.
Right. Amanda said everybody's Lucas's good friend as soon as he talks to him.
Right.
That's right. Yes, everybody is. You said somebody had a good question, Natalie.
Yeah, it was right there.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
How
Boom.
do you get a man to open up?
That's in my book.
That's in your book.
Where's my book at? Oh, I shouldn't
know.
have it. I must have sold out. Oh, look, boom.
There it is.
This is this is my study edition. I wrote study edition on here because I've written all in this one. I've coached people, and if you want some coaching, let me know. The Man Manual. Just got to get that camera angle right. The Man Manual, 10 steps for better understanding your man. Now, you don't have to have a man already to understand men. I should have called it 10 steps to better understanding men in general, right? But it's going to help you. And it's a picture of a wine glass because we talk about how to get to the fine wine inside your man, the best part. How do you get him to open up? We talk about that in the book. One thing, and I also got the wine glass because, don't kick the camera over.
Oh.
One of the things.
Did it move?
Yes, it did. That would have been tragic. Anyway, I almost kicked the camera over for the first time in the studio. You know,
trying to stretch my legs.
It's all good. You can't do that. Not in this studio.
Right.
No, ma'am. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you, Amanda and Ashanti. Thank you so much. This was Keita Ferguson's website. I just put it on the screen for people who are interested. From last night. I want to address that as well. Thank you so much. And then if you want to email Keita Ferguson from last night, createwithkeena@gmail.com. You can connect with her. You may want to do voiceover acting,
Right.
writing, producing, whatever. You want your show on Netflix, reach out to her. She can help you with distribution and everything. Okay, so, all right, what was my point? What was I saying? The marriage plan. How do you get a man to open up?
Yeah.
The corkscrew method. One of my favorites was the corkscrew method. It's in this book. The corkscrew method is like opening up fine wine. I say you got to be careful of grape drink men.
Grape drink.
Grape drink. Because you got grape drink, you got grape juice, and you got wine, right? Grape drink dudes, you just screw off the top and they spill over. Ain't nothing to them, right?
Right.
There's no depth.
They full of water.
They full of water. They sugar water. You want no sugar water, brother. You want no sugar water, man. You want a man. So you take a corkscrew. To get to wine, it takes a little more time.
Yes.
You got to slowly screw in the corkscrew and pull that out and open it up because there's something great inside, right?
Yes.
And it's locking in the taste and the greatness, right? Mm-hmm. So in order to, you have to do the corkscrew method, and what I suggest is start with a shallow question, basically. Start asking them like, so where did you grow up? Or, remember, I think you told me before, but you grew up where? And they're like, I grew up in East Cleveland, say. You're like, oh, okay. I forget, what was it like? What did you say? And he's like, well, it was kind of crazy, you know what I mean? My dad wasn't there, and, my mom was doing her best, but I don't really talk about it much. Ding, I don't talk about it much, which means he's not been vulnerable in that way. And so your goal is to make him feel safe enough to open up. He may not do it in that one sitting, but you want to continue to show him love and support and say to him, I want to know more about that. Can you tell me? And say, maybe your kid's dad's not in their life. Say, what was it like for you? I just want to understand from a man's perspective, what was it like not having your dad? And he's like, well, a lot of times I felt like I had to be a man at a really young age, and so I became very protective and a little bit controlling, like I felt like I had to control stuff. Now you're like, this is why this dude is so controlling in our relationship. But now you know, and so now you can start talking to him and helping him heal and slowly dig in. The problem is women want to go talk to men like they're their girlfriend and think they're just going to open up about everything that went on in life. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it takes men a little longer.
Yeah.
True story? True story.
Yeah.
Yep.
And sometimes you don't have to be the one that's doing the healing or healing them or whatever, because that's how you get into an entanglement.
Woo!
You can't heal people. But you can help, you can listen, you can help give some resources, direct them places. But one of the best things that you can do for somebody is to listen to them, and listen to them, to understand their situation.
Amen. The book is also available at tyndaletraining.com. My book is also available. My man Derek Curry is on here today. Derek Curry, I hate to say this because I keep telling people about how great he is at websites because I've seen the man's work, and he's going to be doing my website and he needs some stuff from me so he can get it going. And I keep referring people and talking about him, and he's more and more busy. He probably about backed up for a month or two, but I hope I can get in with the brother. Shout out to my man Derek Curry and everything he's doing. Wonderful husband, wonderful father, great man. He married one of our sisters.
Yes.
Like, we've seen her go through the life, and some dudes that didn't deserve her, and now she got our brother Derek. Man, we're so happy for them. So good men still exist.
They out
People
there.
keep swearing they don't exist, and now one of our
That was
sisters.
somebody's question.
What was that? Do good men still exist?
Well, not do they exist,
Oh.
but they said, what do you do if you have no good men like in your town?
Oh, in your town, move, sister girl. I'm literally coaching a woman right now, and we're talking about a plan for her to potentially move. I'm not even joking. I mean, you don't know that there's no good men anywhere in your town, but you got to get outside of your town. There's cities and towns around you, I'm sure, wherever you're at. You may have to drive a little bit to get there, but it'll be worth it. And or are you ready to move? There are places you can Google and look for places where you can more likely to meet professional men or whatever you're looking for. You can look that up online and put yourself in position. I believe position yourself to prosper.
Yes.
Some people ain't ready. Some people ain't willing to do what it takes to get what they want. And you got to do what it takes to get what you want. I'm not just serious. She said, I'm moving next year. All right, Natalie, well, next year's about to blow up.
Right.
Whole new pond, whole new fish.
And I don't know how y'all feel about internet dating, but internet dating, you can literally
Talk about it.
find anybody from anywhere. And
It's
I don't know,
it
because
can be tricky.
I never internet dated, so
Yeah,
I don't want
online
to,
dating.
start tipping.
But
in
we've
some
worked
waters.
with people who have.
Yeah.
We know some wonderful couples that are
Yeah.
married now.
Our girl Ebony Akron, is she still on here?
Mm-hmm.
She has a great book, From 45
Oh.
and Single
Yeah.
to 45 and Married.
Whew.
I suggest you. It's a really good book. I read it, and I'm married. I wasn't even single.
You know how Ebony got ready to get married?
The Man Manual.
The Man
It's a
Manual.
good book.
We worked with Ebony, the Man Manual,
Yeah.
and then she wrote her book from 45. She went from 45 and single to 45 and married. She's now happily married, and her book is amazing. Go get her book. Reach out to her at bookebony.com.
Yep,
bookebony.com. Check out our girl Ebony Akron.
Yes.
Bookebony.com. Sheena says she's online dating right now.
She said it's a mess.
I know, I keep hearing that, but we know people who are happily married right now who met online.
Yeah, we do.
It's a mess everywhere. It's a mess. You have to filter.
It's
You
a
have to
mess
get
out
to the
here in these
frogs to get to the prince.
It's a mess out here on the net.
Yes.
It's a mess everywhere.
Yes. All right. I like that. All right, Tasha Ellis. I got to work with Tasha, man. She is fascinating. Tasha Ellis, she said, dating app saved my dating life. You go, girl.
All right.
Right? If you want something different, you got to do something different. People got to quit being scared.
Got to get out the box.
Got to get out the box. Yes. I like that. Darlene Man said, with a man, you have to peel back the layers like an onion. So true. And you know why? Because in our society, we were taught to not show emotion.
Yeah.
I was an emotional kid.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, I would say my mom she would allow me to show emotion, but my brother wouldn't. My brother was like, boy, if you don't quit crying and get your butt up and stop playing. And I'd be like, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm just joking. Right? So you learn to be tough. And then you get in a relationship and you just figured out how to be tough. And now they like open up. You be like, what? I just closed down.
Right.
Like I've been spending my whole life, my whole childhood trying to learn how to shut down and close in my emotions. Because in American society, we sadly teach our boys. Here's another thing. This is just this extra. I believe when your boys are playing with dolls, like they got we had Cabbage Patch. There I go, tell them my age again. My buddy, I had a my buddy.
Right. I had one too.
You had my buddy. Anyway, and there's parents who are chasing their boys and knocking them out of their hands because they're like, oh, that's gay. That first of all, that's wrong to even say that. Secondly, being a father is wrong. Like practicing that. So what happens is we chase our boys away. We tell them not to hold dolls because we think that's going to deal with their sexuality, which is idiotic. And then, but we give them cars and things, right? So what do they learn how to do? Drive off real fast. So when you meet a dude and all he know how to do is get in his car every time something go off and drive off real fast, and you don't know why, that's because that's what we taught him. How to drive off, how to avoid the emotional connection of having a baby or being in a relationship or playing house. Like, don't play like, you ain't got to do that. Go play with your trucks. Go play with the ball. Go do that. So that's what men go do.
Yep, he got an adult-sized Hot Wheel.
He got an adult-sized Hot Wheel.
Riding around thinking he a man.
He out trying to pick up some Barbies.
Crying in
trying
his car
to
by
commit.
himself.
Right? So that's so Is there Curry? What you talking about? He said Angela Curry. Remember, I tried to send you to Tinder. You was trying to send your wife to Tinder before y'all was married. I'm assuming. I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all was friends. You was trying to help her out. What happened, man? You gotta tell us that story. It's a mess. Chrissy said it's a mess, but so many people in town you never would have met. I love that. Okay, so online dating. She said people in your same town you never would have met because you're online dating.
That's true.
I think people gotta try it, man.
You gotta try different things. Like date. I always say, because we tend to have a type, ladies and gentlemen. We have a type, and we see who we're attracted to. And I think Sharice earlier, in an earlier comment, said she tends to, like, the people she's not interested in are interested in her. But the people that she's interested in don't even notice her.
That happens.
Well, Sharice, maybe you should give the one who's interested in you a shot.
Yes.
Talk to him.
Like,
just see what happens, see where it goes. Like, a lot of time we have this type that we're looking for.
And I wasn't your type.
Or we're in the box. No, you weren't my type.
We talk about that.
Physically, yeah. Like, I was like dark skin, That's just who I'm naturally attracted to.
Yeah.
But you had other qualities that I really liked. Like, you were a nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and we
A
made
really
it work.
nice guy. Yeah.
And now you're in love with everything.
You're responsible. Yeah, I love everything about you.
You never know. You don't know what's going to happen, right?
So they got to get out of our type. Get out of our box and stop looking at a type. And I was 22 too.
You was.
Like, when you're that young,
you
you
in
tend
the shallow
to be,
water anyway.
You're already in the shallow water. You're looking for what you're looking for.
Right. You're looking for something from the TV.
Like, where the dark skinned brother at? Right. Where's Morris Chestnut?
Right.
At?
Like they walking around. Like it's a bunch of Morris Chestnuts strolling around, chilling. A bunch of Shamar boys walking around free, not entangled. They at least entangled, at least. All right. Yeah. So you gotta get outside. Your type, it could be locking you into a box. It's going to stop you from having what you really want, because what you really want is a lasting relationship. What you really want is to be loved by somebody. What you really want is somebody to look at you and still, after we've been married for 11 years, we've been together, 12, 13 years.
Yep.
After all this time. Yep. So about 13 years, and still look at you like I look at you and be like, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And still see her from across the room and be like, man, that's my wife,
Yeah.
And I still feel like that. That's what you want. That's what really matters. Your type. Some people are locking themselves into, I only date inside my race. I only date a certain shade of my race. I only date people with certain type of hair. I only date people with one or less kids. They got to have 1.1 kid or less, and I can't deal with it.
Yeah, talk about it.
You won't be in a box alone. You keep staying in a box, you might find yourself in that box forever. And that's for everybody. You got to think about that, all right? So what y'all saying is go for not your type. It's go for not your type. Yes, Natalie, your type. What the heck? That is a paradigm. You got to get outside of a box.
We're saying that try different things, just like in life. You don't want to be 10 years. Like, it was funny. I was talking to our friend Ebony Akron. We had just went out of town together this weekend. And we stopped at Cracker Barrel. And she said, because we've been going, it's a women's retreat. And they've been going to this women's retreat for over 10 years. And they said, they stop at this same Cracker Barrel every year, and the same lady has been working there for the last 10 years. Like, they go to this one place one time a year, and that same lady is there that one time a year. So for 10 years, that lady has been predictable, doing the same thing every year. And I'm not saying, there's something wrong with that. But I am saying sometimes you got to shake it up. Do something different. I don't want to be predictable. I don't want to be somebody can find me at the same place for the next 10 years.
Watch out. Same people coming through and you like, ain't nobody new. You ain't in nowhere new. How you gonna meet new people? You ain't in a new place.
You in that same world that you've been living in, doing the same thing. Shake it up. Get out.
Shake it up.
Go see what the person that you don't think you, because you had kids. Yeah. It wasn't something that I never necessarily even thought about. Like, I never said I would never date a guy with kids. I was 22. I just never encountered a guy who had kids yet at that age.
Plural.
Yeah. Kids, plural, yeah. And you were divorced?
I was divorced. My oldest isn't biologically mine, but can't nobody tell me she ain't mine, right? So I had that dynamic.
Yeah.
Right?
It was a lot going on that came...
Could scared somebody away.
Yeah. Could have scared somebody away. But I liked you because I saw how responsible you were. Like, I saw that you were a good father. So those same things that people are like, I don't want nobody, with no kids. Well, what if he's a good father, Don't you want your kid to have a good father?
Tell him.
Yeah.
I love that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I saw the love you had for my kids, and I fell in love with the love you had for them. And that's when I knew. She was the one. Because if you wasn't going to treat my kids right, if I couldn't get with a woman that wasn't going to treat my kids right, and I don't think people have to love somebody's kids day one. You know what I mean? It could take some time, but I appreciate that. You know, I appreciated the love you had for them. Amanda said her husband wasn't her type at a ripe 17. They've been together for a long time. She said, my husband wasn't my type at a ripe old age of 17, but they've grown together and they have a beautiful marriage, beautiful marriage because they have continued to do the work. There was another comment here somewhere that I was trying to get to. Sometimes you got to see us. We're looking at your comments over here and we're trying to catch up with them and pull some things onto. Okay, so here it is. Natalie Lewis said, so y'all don't subscribe to making a list. Yes, we do subscribe to making a list. I subscribe to making a list. But
I'm on the fence about it.
But I'm talking about the list got to be deeper than what they look like.
Yeah.
Right? The list can't be 6'3", chiseled. You know what I mean? That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Like, stop it.
That got nothing to do with it.
First of all, those things change.
Yeah.
Second of all, 6'3" and chiseled might be punching holes in the wall.
Yeah.
Right? It could be crazy.
Yeah, your list need to have qualities.
Yes.
More than depth.
Yeah, qualities. What do you want? A character.
Yeah, character.
Right? Kind, caring, treat his mama right, treat his kids right.
Good father.
Good father, right? Loves the Lord.
Works hard.
Hard, worker, ambitious.
Yeah.
Right?
One thing I like to talk about too, because ladies, I know my ladies out here, we always talking about, I don't want no brother who got this kind of job or don't have this kind of job. He need to be making this much money, whatever. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then, in the same breath, we talk about women making more than their man and all that other stuff.
They should be able to do that.
Yeah. So do you want him to make all the money, or do you want him to have an equal income? Is it okay if he's working hard but his job ain't that great? Like those are just some things to think about.
Yes. Good point.
Yeah.
That's an important. I want to have a whole show. Will you come back?
I will come back.
I'd love to have a whole show on men making more than women. Can men handle it? Is it okay? Do women like it? Because here's what I found, right, in coaching, and I talked to a couple other of my female friends because I was doing some research. This was just a couple months ago, and I was like, somebody was telling me that they don't mind making more than a man, that they have a good job, and sometimes men are intimidated by it, and they were saying the issue is not him, what money he makes. The problem is the man can't handle me making more money than him. So once men know I have a good job, they leave because they scared and they punks, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, cool. But the reason I think a lot of men are intimidated is because women aren't really attracted to men who make less money than them. And I'm not saying none of them, but I'm just saying. And so I asked her, I said, so what if he made $10,000 less than you a year? She said, cool. I said, what if he made 15? That's okay. What about 20,000 less? She was like, 20,000 less. As we dug into the numbers, and I did this survey with several women, as I kept going down the ladder, and I said, what if he's making an hourly wage and he's doing something he loves and he has a lot of energy and excitement behind it and he's trying? Would you still be cool with the fact that you keeping the lights on and you paying the bills, but he's loving you, he's loving the kids, he's helping out around the house, whatever, he's bringing value, he's just not bringing dollars to the table. His money is just getting him back and forth to work so he can pay for his car. What's up? And a lot of women admitted to me they didn't find that attractive. And so if that's the case, and I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying, like Corine said, what do you really want?
Yeah, working hard. Because when you think about it, we've been married for 11 years. Uh-huh. You lost a job.
I lost 2 jobs, man.
You lost 2 jobs.
I only ever had 3.
So you went from having a job
doing good
to not having a job.
Broke, busted, and disgusted. Yep.
Depressed about it.
Depressed, laying in the bed. Jesus, help me.
So life just goes up and down. So when you making your list, don't put he need to have a job he can lose his job.
I was making good money.
You was making good money. Lost that money. And then what?
But I had that ambition, baby.
You had that ambition.
Look at his eyes. This week he mopping floors. Next week is the fries. I was out there doing it. She knew I wasn't going to play. I was still holding it down. Even though I was looking outside to make sure my Escalade didn't disappear. I had an Escalade, but I was like, they're going to take that back.
So your list need to be more about qualities than the stuff. Because the stuff will disappear. I will guarantee you that. Looks disappear. Stuff disappear.
Yes.
Things fluctuate.
Yep.
Hills, valleys, mountaintops,
lows.
lows, Yep. So you just got to be ready. So that's why you think about character and quality more than you think about anything else, because that stuff will fade, it will fluctuate, and you got to still be ready to buckle up and keep moving.
Ride it out together.
You
guys, did we hit all the points we promised? We said we were going to talk about how to prepare when you're single.
We over our time.
But we having fun. We're going to wrap this up here in a second. Again, if you guys are interested in our books, whether you're single or married, and you need both of them because y'all both get to fill them out. What if your man, it is easy, it's easy. I know you're like, my man won't go to counseling. He don't think we there yet, or we married him, he don't want to go now. Here you go. Get started. Just get this book, get these books, and sit down and start working on them. You work on them separate, and then you come back together and have a conversation. Now, don't go sneaking looking through their book. Let them write their stuff and answer the questions honestly. And we do self-evaluations in here. So one of the questions is resilience. You rate yourself on resilience, and you rate your spouse. So I might rate myself an 8 on resilience, and I might rate my spouse a 9. Now, she might have rated us differently, or she might have rated me lower than that. And now we got to talk about it. I'm like, babe, why'd you rate me a 6? And she's like, well, remember that couple times when we was going through stuff, you was messed up.
Right, you was folded.
You was folded, brother. And then I'm like, whoa. And then instead of having my feelings hurt, though, we can talk about how that can look, what maybe I need from her, what I need from me, what I need from God, what I need from mentors. And we can start putting a plan together, a vision for forever together. That's what it's about. You can find that at tyndaletraining.com if you are interested in purchasing the book or the books. They are available $25 a piece. It's better than a textbook. It's better than your college textbook. I promise it is. So it's worth it to get it and check it out. Look at your earrings. Your earrings is fluttering in the camera. Look at that. They're like magical. They are magical earrings. This is why I left it. Okay, Natalie said she left a guy because he wouldn't go to counseling. That happens. You need somebody who's willing to do the work. Yes. He may not be a perfect man, but he's progressing. That's right, Ashanti. Yes. You can't knock a man that's trying. That's right, Tiana. And I know Tiana has admitted that she's at a place in her life where she's not interested. Totally fine. Buckle down, love your kids, live your life. You are not incomplete if you are single. You are single and whole and wonderful and lovable and capable, and you're not incomplete.
No.
We do find great joy in our relationship.
Yes.
But we're not incomplete.
No.
Without it. All right. Any other questions? We can maybe answer one more question. And then we're going to let you guys go. I don't know what you guys are doing. Some of y'all is playing hooky from work because y'all on here with us, and we appreciate y'all. Some people had to jump off because they had to get back to work. We understand. Somebody's tuning into the replay because they missed part of it. We appreciate it. We appreciate your questions, comments. We appreciate the love here on Lucas Live. I thank you guys so much for loving and supporting this show. Whatever point you jumped in and became a fan, a follower of Lucas Live, I want to thank you. There may be episodes that you missed that might be life-changing for you. And I'd love for you to go back. Check us out at Lucas Live Media on YouTube and Facebook. Go back and watch those previous episodes, and they will be available really, really soon on a podcast for you to just listen to wherever you're at, in your car, wherever you go. Amanda Jean Duke said, this is my work. She is the producer of Lucas Live. So she's working right now, and she's able to be here with us at the same time. She also said, I would like to point out that you have to heal yourself to be ready for those conversations so you're not triggered. I agree. You got to be ready. You got to do some work. That's why, first, the self-evaluation part is so important because you got to work on healing yourself first. All right. I love that. Natalie says she's not marrying anybody who's not ready to seek counseling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks, Tamika. Thank you guys for the love and support. Thank you guys for being here with us today. It was a lot of fun, babe. Thanks for being in the studio with you, babe. This was fun, girl. This was fun. I appreciate having you here with me. We'll do this again. I promised. We will. Somebody asked earlier about your book. Why don't you tell them about your stuff?
I write love stories.
Stories.
Beautiful love stories. Yeah, but they always have a lesson in them. So you know how sometimes you get lessons in a creative way. That is what my books are about. They are stories, love stories. It has a lot of nuggets and information and lessons in there, but it's just done in a creative way. So
where can they find your stuff at?
CorineMarie.com.
CorineMarie.com. Boop, 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 boop. There it is. CorineMarie.com. Check her out. You guys can find her books there. Yep. But you also got a new book that's being released 1 week at a time. People can't wait. They want the whole book yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Where can they get that book at?
Go to CorineMarie.com. You'll find the link there.
Boom.
Everything
is at CorineMarie.com. Check it out. All right. She got you. If you love to hear a good love story, we write books that are workbooks and books you can get into and You know, the man manual, 10 steps better understanding your man, whether you're single, dating, or married. The marriage plan. You know, how you plan a vision for forever together, single or dating or married. You can get those books. And then at CorineMarie.com, my wife writes just beautiful love stories that inspire you and remind you that love still exists. And she will be making movies as well. And it's just going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful.
Yes, I am.
All right. All right. Judy said she wants the whole book. People, they dying to get the whole book without books, the newest book.
A few people have reached out to me. I was like, can I just buy the whole book?
Like, you just got to wait.
But I wrote it as a TV script first. Well, I wrote it as a script, and I thought it would be fun to release it and see how it goes as a written episode. So you guys hang in there with me.
It's a fun
journey.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's fun.
Let's do something different. Get out the box.
Love it. Get out the box. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been wonderful. We thank you as always for your love and support of the show. We'll see you again next week with some more amazing guests, more amazing topics, more amazing things to talk about. You guys know you can get a hold of us. Check out our websites. Order something if you want it that can change your life. Again, if you're looking for that magnetic social media for singles, reach out to me as well. That is still available. If you scroll through my social media page on my Facebook, you'll see it on there. That's still there. Or the LinkedIn training. I am still selling the replays to that if you guys are interested in that. Amanda said what? What'd you say?
Oh, somebody wanted to know where you can get the marriage plan.
TyndaleTraining.com.
Yes.
It's available at TyndaleTraining.com. You can get the marriage plan 1 or 2. Some of y'all need to get both of them because you're about to have a husband or a wife come along soon, and you're going to already had a book on the shelf like, let's get started. I've already worked on mine, but here, take yours. But they're available for you there at TyndaleTraining.com. We thank you guys so much, babe. Again, thank you.
You're welcome.
It was fun. We do this a lot. This is what we do.
That's what we do.
This is just us. We just doing it in front of the camera. People just get to see what we do. We talk about love, life, relationships, and how we can continue to grow.
Yep.
And help other people. That's it. All right, sweetie. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see you guys again soon. Share this broadcast. Tell somebody about it. Text somebody the link and let them know they need to see it if they missed it. We thank you guys so much. Everybody have a great day.